guys, welcome to my video. Today I'm going to be showing you how to use a beauty blender to apply foundation. It's going to be basically a demo of how I use the product, but I'm not going to be reviewing it just yet since this is something that I've just started to use. But let me show you my beauty blender in comparison to other alternatives that people sell. So this is my beauty blender. This has water in it, which is why it's so big, and it also is dirty. I just used it right now. And this is my Sonia Kashuk sponge that a lot of people said is comparable to the beauty blender. Now if you look at the size difference, the beauty blender is a little bit bigger right now because it's wet. The Sonia Kashuk one is dry. The other difference is that this beauty blender is a lot softer and easier to use than the Sonia Kashuk one. This is a lot harder, and even once you do go ahead and wet this, it does stay a little bit harder. So being that's the case, I do think the beauty blender wins out big time. Also, the shapes are completely different. This one has got a very defined inner little cinched area almost, but it does have the same pointed tip. Now the Sonia Kashuk one I think is $12 at Target, and the beauty blender is also I think $12 for one and $25 or maybe $14 for one and $25 for two. But I definitely think you should give this a try. I'm not saying this is a bad product, it's just different. It's not the same thing in my opinion, but they basically do, you know, what both of them are supposed to do, which is put on foundation more flawlessly. So if you guys want to see how I use the beauty blender, go ahead and keep watching. Okay, so what I like to do is I like to store my beauty blender in a little glass right here, and this is after it's wet. See how big it is compared to the Sonia Kashuk one? So you always make it damp before you use it. I just take this glass, fill it up with water, put the beauty blender in there, you know, make sure that it's fully full of water, squeeze out all the excess. Then this beauty blender is going to grow a little bit, it's going to become a lot bigger, and then you are good to start using it. So I'm going to be using it with my Dior foundation. This is the Dior Forever foundation, and there's a couple of different ways that I've used the beauty blender. A few have been better than others, and I'm going to show you my favorite way right now, and then I'll also show you a way that, you know, you can do if you'd like. Okay, so what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to take a foundation brush. I'm using my 130 by MAC, and I'm going to pick up the foundation and go ahead and put it on all the areas that you normally would, but I'm not going to go ahead and actually like apply it really. I'm just going to go ahead and dot it on. Okay, that's on one side of my face. So the first method that I can do for you guys, I'm going to take the beauty blender. I've already got my foundation dotted on. You're going to take the beauty blender and kind of bounce it on your skin to go ahead and blend out this foundation that we've got on. Obviously use the different sides of the sponge to get into the different areas of your face. Okay, now I'm going to go back and add more foundation because I want more coverage. So this time I'm going to take it with my finger, another thing that you can also do, dot it on, like so. Now I'm going to go back with this beauty blender. What the blender is doing, at least for me, is that it's diffusing the particles off the foundation, making it go on a lot more evenly, and since we're adding water to the foundation, it's thinning out, so it's going to look more like skin and not just like makeup. And you guys know, like, if you think about it, it makes perfect sense, because even with makeup, we set our faces with setting sprays that have water in it. So water's obviously good for you. It definitely makes makeup look a lot more natural. And that's basically exactly what the beauty blender is helping you do. It'll also help you get that dewy glow that you want, because it's definitely, if you look at this side of my face, I don't have anything on it. This side has foundation, but it's also got that dewy glow from the water. Of course, you know, if you have oily skin, you do want to set your foundation with a powder like you normally would. Doesn't mean that you don't do it just because you've used a beauty blender, but you'll still retain that glow, and you'll see just what I mean. Okay, so that's one method. I've gone ahead and done this. I haven't put on concealer under my eyes yet. I haven't put on concealer on my face. You can go back and do that if you'd like. Now another method that I also like quite a lot, I actually think I like this method more than the one that I just showed you guys. I'm going to take my foundation using any foundation brush. You can use a synthetic brush if you'd like, totally up to you as to what you want to use. And I'm going to go ahead and put on my makeup. Oh, I just got it in my hair everywhere. So go ahead and put on your makeup just like you normally would, but don't worry about actually blending it like you really would. Okay, so I've got my foundation on. Now I'm going to take this beauty blender and go ahead on top of it and just push it into my skin. And what this is doing is it's pushing the pre-existing foundation into my skin deeper so your skin looks more like real skin and not makeup, while also adding water to rehydrate your skin and bringing out that dewy glow. So it's totally up to you. Both different ways of putting it on, but both of them pretty much look the same in my eyes. Now, what I like to do after I've got that on is that I like to go back, I like to wet this again, and then dip this into my foundation and go back and put on another layer, a third thicker layer. So I'm going to go ahead and wet this and I'll be right back. Okay, so now what I've done is I've gone ahead and wet this again. This time I've left more water in this than I did the first time. I'm going to take this directly and put it into my foundation and get foundation on the sponge. And I'm going to go ahead and add that to my face, to the areas that I want extra coverage in. And the reason I wet the sponge more is because I want more of the foundation on my face, obviously, and I want my sponge to give me even more of a wet look. I literally want my face to look wet right now. There you go, my face looks wet. I like that. I want to keep it like that for a little bit before I go ahead and set it. Next, what I'm going to go ahead and do is put on my concealer. You can use whatever concealer you want because we're going to go back and blend that also with the Beauty Blender. I'm going to try out my NW35 Studio Finish Concealer this time. I haven't even used this before under my eyes, but I'm going to give that a try today. I'm using it with my 224. Oh, I like this under my eyes. And I'm going to get it right in the bridge of my nose and actually into the side area right here. And also do that for your other eye. Oh, now I know what people mean when they say they like this so much for under the eye. I always thought it was a bit thick. But you guys know how much I love to try out new foundations and concealers and stuff, so. This area right here is super important to get with concealer because it tends to always get darker as you age, and also when you're putting on makeup you tend to forget about this area and it stays darker, and then you can actually see like where you put on makeup and where you haven't, and we don't want anybody to ever be able to tell that on your face. So we've got the concealer on. I'm going to go back with the Beauty Blender and really press that on. I mean, since it's got water, it also feels so good on your skin. It feels nice and refreshing. Okay, and then you can go back through and set your foundation if you'd like, and if not, you can leave it like this. I am going to go ahead and set it with a little bit of powder, my Youngblood High Definition Mineral Hydrating Powder, but I'm not going to use much at all. This is an amazing powder for all of you guys who haven't tried it. Okay, then I'm going to go back with the same concealer brush that I use, and I'm going to set the concealer too. Like so, and that is how you use the Beauty Blender. Let me go ahead and zoom out so you can see the actual way the foundation looks and the application from far. Okay, so this is my finished face. I think it blended this superbly. It made it look a lot more natural. I haven't put anything on my face after. Like, I haven't put on concealer on my cheeks wherever I have trouble areas. I haven't even put on lip gloss. I haven't even put on bronzer, blush, anything. This is just after foundation. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask, and I will talk to you guys very soon. Bye!